Hey folks, today we're talking about yet another event where your success relies heavily on alliance coordination, Viking Vengeance. Successfully competing in this event with your alliance is a key way in which you will get Governor Gear materials. At the same time, there are a ton of misconceptions about this event. So if you want to get the most satin and gilded threads possible, listen up, and make sure to share this video with your alliance so you all know exactly how to work together. But first, a few fundamentals. The premise of Viking Vengeance is to defend all of your alliance's towns and alliance headquarters from 20 sequential waves of invading Vikings. Waves 1 through 9 and 11 through 19 will attack player cities, while waves 10 and 20 attack the alliance headquarters. You score points the more successfully you fend off these invaders. The event rolls around once every 2 weeks, and each time the event comes, your alliance can compete twice, once on day 1 and separately again on day 3. You get both individual rank and alliance rank rewards each time. The event participation lasts for about half an hour, and your alliance can pick exactly when during the eligible 24-hour period that the event will be held. It is most important for leadership to maximize attendance for the event for a number of reasons you'll soon see. Alliance leaders will also have a choice of difficulty level to select on a scale of 1 through 11, with 11 being the hardest. High difficulties mean higher points and thus higher rewards. Because your success is heavily tied to your overall alliance performance, mistakes that you or any of your alliance members are making can easily be holding all of you back. So let's dive into 7 surprisingly common myths that can trip up even experienced alliances. Myth number 1. I need to defend my own town. This one is reasonably well known as a myth, yet I can't tell you the number of times I see players in Viking Vengeance still leaving troops at home to defend their own city. This is suboptimal play, and here's why. You will receive a preset amount of points each wave for defending your town from Vikings, irrespective of the number of kills you personally receive. At the same time, you score points for the kills you gain while defending other players' towns. Look at this example of 2 battle reports for 2 different towns in the same Viking wave. See how the defender receives the exact same amount of points even while getting 0 kills. So if you're trying to maximize points for everyone in the alliance, then you should send all of your troops out of your own town and have them reinforce other people's towns. If everyone does this perfectly, it effectively doubles the points that you and your alliance earn during the event. You should only have troops left at your own town if you have more troops than you can possibly fit into all of your marches. Are you worried about your town being left underdefended? Well, even on the highest difficulty setting your alliance can choose, difficulty 11, most towns that are reinforced with 200 to 300,000 total troops of about tier 8 to tier 9 or higher can typically survive all rounds. Obviously, there are some exceptions depending on heroes and stat bonuses, but this is a good benchmark to aim for. And if you're short of it, ask your alliance members for more reinforcements. This is a good chance for more points for them too. Myth number 2. I need to heal my troops between rounds. Resist that urge to tap the troop healing indicator on your screen, because when those troops get healed, they will appear right in your own town. This means they'll start stealing kills from players reinforcing you and siphoning off their points. Healing also won't help you that much, as the handful of troops you can recover in time will likely not turn the tide of a battle you would have otherwise lost elsewhere. All of that said, if you absolutely must heal for some reason, then either try to time it before the 10th wave attacks the headquarter so you have enough time to shuffle your troops around, or make sure you have an open march slot to immediately send those troops to another player. Myth number 3. I should reinforce other players with my best heroes. It sounds odd that this one is a myth, right? I just told you about how you don't want to get any Viking kills in your town and you want to maximize them in enemy towns. So why not send along your best heroes with your troops? Well, the answer to this comes down to understanding how rallies work. I've talked about this a few times in other videos, and we'll post a rally formation guide in the video description once I get around to finally making a video exclusively on this. But for now, what you need to know about this event is that even though you do not have any troops at your hometown, you are still the rally captain there by default. That means all troops that other players send will use your hero bonuses, abilities, and stat values. The reverse is also true. Towns that you reinforce will default to using the town owner's hero bonuses, abilities, and stat values. There is an additional quirk in defensive rallies in that the rally joiner can override the heroes and stat values of the garrison commander if they bring higher overall stats. So if you have much stronger players reinforcing you, then it might not matter. But either way, you want to give your town the best chance of fending off Viking invaders. So think of this as an insurance policy for protecting yourself. Myth number 4. I need to defend the headquarters the entire time. The HQ only comes under attack during waves 10 and 20 of the event, and there is plenty of time in between to move your troops before the Viking wave reaches the headquarters. The bigger challenge is that your alliance members might get there before you since there is a rally capacity and governor limit for defending. This makes it an unusual point in the event where you and your alliance members are directly competing over the same finite number of points. So one might be inclined to leave troops there in advance, but this is actually a point-limiting move. The marginal increase of points you'll get for your share of defense of the headquarters is likely not as high as the points you will get for the rounds you would be missing from defending another player's town. And if you try to pull your troops early to reach the headquarters first, they might reach your city at the exact time wave 9 or 19 is arriving and ruin the points of those reinforcing you. So to avoid this potential flashpoint for disagreement and encourage cooperative play, Alliance leadership should think about establishing some ground rules that fit the culture of your alliance. In the alliance I'm part of, our leadership has decided that it will be first come first served, but we set a troop limit to make sure that we can fit all 15 governors to get a share of rewards. Alternatively, some other alliances might predetermine who is defending on what round to try to make things more equitable. There are not enough slots for everyone though, so typically determining it based on some sort of merit can pacify those who don't get in. Either way, the key here is to have some ground rules that discourage suboptimal play, such as leaving troops camped in the headquarters the entire time. Myth number 5. I can go online to move my troops, then simply log off. Given all you heard, your instinct might be that you can simply make sure your troops are exchanged before the event starts and just leave them in your alliance members' towns and then log off. Sure, you might miss out on some points from not defending the headquarters, but there's only so many people who can fit in there anyway. While that is true, there is also one other way that this event penalizes you for being offline. When waves 7, 14, and 17 launch, they will not send Vikings to towns of players who are not online at that time. Here you can see, for example, that I have 7 battle reports for wave 16, but only 6 battle reports for wave 17, because an alliance member I was reinforcing had to go offline at that moment. So this means if you are offline, not only do you miss your own points for your town being defended, but so too do the players reinforcing you. And since the number of points per stage increases every stage, the fact that 2 of these online-only rounds are in the back 10 waves means that you could be forfeiting a lot of points. It's significant enough that if you do all the troop positioning correct and then go offline, it's unlikely you'll even be able to break the top 50 on your server. Look, life happens and obviously you can't make every event all the time, and it's still somewhat better to just do what you can and leave. However, just don't be surprised when you log back in with a significantly worse score than you're used to from past performances, even if you've become stronger since then. If practical, just leave the game open on your phone even if you aren't actively playing. Myth number 6. Combat works the same as everywhere else. You may have seen my ultimate guide to Kingshot combat, linked below in the description. In this video, I help visualize the way that combat is simulated under the hood. However, with Vikings, you will notice some major differences if you really investigate the battle reports. In Vikings, the order of attack of troop types matters a lot more. It proceeds in the order of infantry, then cavalry, then archers. Also, the defender troops attacked first, not the attacker, meaning that if you have enough infantry defending a location, they can wipe out the entire Viking force before they even get to attack. This helps keep troop losses down and even further reduces the need for healing. However, this has some other implications to it. Since points are rewarded to reinforcers based on kills, it is quite possible that your archers won't even really factor into the point total until later rounds if other players have strong infantry present. For an illustration of this, look at how differently my troops performed when defending the headquarters during round 10 versus round 20. In round 10, I had a small force of diversified troops. I got very few kills compared to players that were stronger than me, and sent either more or more powerful troops. However, in round 20, I sent an infantry-heavy army instead. This troop march performed markedly differently and got way more kills than before. Yes, I know there are more troops to defeat in round 20, but even proportionally compared to other players with more troops than me, I significantly outperformed. This is due to an understanding of how the combat is resolved differently in this event, and recognizing that cavalry and archers were not even going to be able to attack before the battle was over. This knowledge can also be helpful to you if you reach the point where you have more troops than you can possibly send out in all of your marches. If you have to leave some troops at home, leave the archers since they will be the least likely to steal kills from the alliance members defending your town. Myth number 7. I should keep my troops in the same place for all Viking waves. While this event does rely on alliance coordination, which could include who is covering who, there are occasions in which it might make sense to shift where your reinforcements are parked. For example, if you have reinforced someone who has a lot of troops in their own town that are stealing points, and they are not responding to alliance chat or have even gone offline, then it might be a good idea to move your troops. That said, there are situations in which players will have troops at home, but you are still getting enough points per wave that it makes sense to stay. Similarly, if a player is offline, it doesn't automatically mean you should reposition your troops, but it might. I have intentionally stuck by some towns where the player was offline because I was getting so many more points than anyone else for Viking kills that it would have been hard to find another option that made as many points, even with those online-only rounds. Sometimes you are simply just at a town that is reinforced by a much stronger player who is getting most of the points. This might be a sign that that player is over-reinforced, and you should look to move coverage elsewhere. Just be careful that you don't come to this conclusion too quickly, as there aren't many Vikings to go around in the first few rounds, and your troops might still be needed in later rounds. All of this is to say that you should just be monitoring the battle reports as they come in, and being intentional about making any adjustments accordingly, up to and including moving your troops to a different town. So now that we got these score-limiting misconceptions out of the way, you can see how not only your own choices, but those of your alliance can heavily influence your outcome. So it is in your own best interest to share this video with your alliance members to jointly maximize your rewards. That said, even if your alliance has an off night, or few people are able to join this time around, you can still place reasonably well through smart play. For example, while I was recording this video, including doing some suboptimal choices for the sake of comparisons in this video, I still managed to get 9th place while my alliance only got 3rd. So don't give up. And if you're an alliance leader unsure about stepping up the difficulty to the next level, then I would say to try it. The points go up significantly, and worst case, some of your cities will not get points on the final rounds. But even if you make it 17 or 18 rounds, you'll likely end up with more points than fully completing a safer level. As I said, about 200 to 300,000 tier 8 to tier 9 troops should roughly be enough to protect the city at difficulty level 11, so scale accordingly. And if a city does fall to the Vikings the first time, additional waves will still come. If a second Viking wave defeats the city, then no more Vikings will come to that city, so players can safely withdraw their armies and place them in other cities to continue growing points and helping defend other players. So this can offset the risk of trying higher difficulty levels a bit if your alliance members know what to do. So to recap, successful competition in Vikings comes down to a few things. Be online for the entire event if feasible. Don't leave troops at home that can steal points from other players. And if you have to leave troops at home, leave archers. Avoid healing troops while Viking waves are invading towns. Defend the headquarters on rounds 10 and 20 as directed by your alliance leaders. Send mostly infantry to the headquarters to boost your individual score further. And keep track of battle reports and make adjustments if needed. If you and all of your alliance members are well coordinated in doing these things, then you'll have no problem getting top ranks in the Viking Vengeance event and getting plenty of exclusive Governor gear materials. But of course, this isn't the only event that requires heavy Alliance coordination to win. Bear Hunt, Alliance Championship, Swordland Showdown, and many more have similar cooperative needs. So be sure to check out the rest of the Kingshot Essentials playlist for more in-depth guides to maximizing your rewards across Kingshot. Let me know in the comments if you have any additional smart tips to share. Thanks again for watching, and happy gaming out there.